Three for the Money is brought to you by the Trend Center app. This is the best tool for sports betting research. The Trend Center app, you can test betting systems from the past 20 years, explore thousands of existing trends and systems from top betting experts, choose from hundreds of filters to test different systems for each sport. Save these trends and get notified when their systems have games. Download the app and use our code TFTM for 15% off a premium membership after a 2-day free trial. Okay. We're here. We're back. It's Three for the Money. New episodes every Thursday, and it's officially the off season. It's officially the off season of football. I mean, if you've been with the show for a while, you know that this is it's a sports podcast, but really when it's football season, it's a football podcast, and then things intermittently in between. But it's officially the off season, and honestly, not that bad considering everything else that's going on. But before we get into that, let's say hello to the fellas. How we doing, fellas? Chris?
Doing all right. Yeah. First full week without football is weird. Sunday, I knew it was happening. I mean, lived through it many, many times, but I was just still Sunday. I was just sitting there like, there, a pigskin needs to be tossed in front of me right now, and there just wasn't one, and it was weird. But we're coping, betting on college basketball and going all right. But yeah, so we're doing all right into this dangerous non-football world that we're living in now.
All right. Sean, how are you?
Yeah, good. Um, I was like, I don't know. I'm kind of not missing football yet. Um, it did Sunday felt weird, but I was like, I was coping. I was like, okay, this is normal, you know. Um, but yeah, Four Nations is it rocks. We get the championship tomorrow. Very much looking forward to that. And yeah, I've been betting some hoops recently too. Got to get warm
I
for
love
March
that.
is March is around the corner, so got to get warm. So I've been doing pretty well too. I think I went 2-1 last night, and then I bet some hoops on Sunday. I bet one on Sunday and one on Monday, and I won both of those. So I'm like, was it 4-1 in the last 4 days?
I believe so.
Yeah, the math checks out.
Yeah. We're not a numbers pod, but I did want to talk about the Four Nations face-off to start off the show here. Um, it is it's electric, and I'm not gonna front. And if anybody that's listening to this hasn't watched it and enjoys sports, it is the thing that you should be watching right now. That in college basketball, obviously. I mean, the Four Nations isn't on every day right now, but it's wild. It's crazy. Not to get too deep immediately, but the I know the NHL really wanted to, or the players really wanted a best on best tournament um, with the prospective countries, and this has gone off without a hitch. Truthfully, I mean it's it's tremendous. Like it's weird. Like I feel like going into it, like I didn't feel this, but I there was a little voice in the back of my head that was like, "Hey, they might not care because this is the first one, and it's sort of replacing the All-Star game this year. You know, it's not it's not a priority for people. No one's ever grown up to want to win the Four Nations face-off tournament. Nobody's ever done that. It's never been done. And but just like the games that have just come out of it have just been amazing, honestly. Like, I mean, I said on the show last week, I put a unit on USA to take the whole thing, um, and they knocked out. Well, they didn't knock out anyone. They beat Canada on Saturday. That was electric. Uh, Crazy, crazy, crazy game. If you're not watching that, you're not American. I'll go ahead and say it. I'll go ahead and say it. Um, but before I really get on my high horse, do you guys have anything to say about it
It
other
kicks
than it was
ass.
great? Yeah,
No, I mean I don't have any gripes with it. I do have just a question like so this is the first one they've done. Did they announce this is like the first of many that they're gonna do? Or it was just like, hey, we'll see how this goes, and if it goes well, we'll do more.
I believe that as of right now, this is the only one that they're going to do,
Okay.
uh, because part of the reason why they were doing it is because they haven't done the World Cup of hockey in almost 10 years. Granted, they only do it like on the off years of the Olympics, but they also haven't done the Olympics in like 10 years. Like it's this was sort of meant to take the place of the World Cup of hockey, but also kind of give them, hey, here's this if you uh, fuck off about the Olympics, because I mean, you grow up and you're one to play for your country, and that's great. That is a thing that people grow up to want to do and win. And so it's not known currently if this is a thing that's going to stick around or not. It's I think it's kind of weird to manage it just because like there are more than four nations of players that play in the NHL, you know. And I mean obviously like they can obviously add Russia, but with the global shit going on, like they're not going to do that. And totally get it. Totally understandable. There's a PP whack, there's your boo boo. Fucking take it, take your licks. And so it's I don't know. I hope they do it again because like the All-Star game sucks. And if you've listened to like pretty much any other podcast, like the Four Nations was going on like as the NBA All-Star weekend was going on. And nobody was watching that shit because because Matt McClung, you know, certified dog, as first reported on Three for the Money, years ago or last year, I can't remember.
3 years ago, 2 years ago.
Right,
I don't remember.
yeah. Um, you know, he's just gonna show up and ball, and that's it. That's good, good for him. He's probably getting a pay bump, maybe, hopefully. But it's nobody's gonna fucking watch that shit, and if you turn on it's like the first weekend really without football, and it's like these sports fans are just like, what the hell do I watch? Canada versus America. I can get behind that. What is this? And it's hockey, and it's like, oh, okay, they're doing this instead of the All-Star game, and then it's awesome. Like, come on, like three fights in the first 9 seconds. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, it was just it was crazy. It's wild. John, do you have anything to add to this?
Um, well, I don't think they would want to do this again, to be honest. I think the clubs are kind of going to be against this whole thing, because, people be getting hurt. Like Shea Theodore, I think he's out like 4 to 6 weeks from an injury in this. And um, just to kind of backpedal a little bit, there is something about playing for your nation as well that, like, like you said, like nobody wakes up and wants to play and like wants to win the Four Nations. Nobody's ever done that before. But you will play for your country.
Hmm.
So
Yes.
there is like I think that is the driving factor of this whole thing, and it's awesome. You know, uh, I'm pretty just like, man, this the U.S. not in a good spot right now. But when when U.S. was uh, facing Canada, I was like, man, I'm a red-blooded American. I am gun ho, blast Freebird, all the shit. I was like, dude, beat the fuck out of these guys.
Mm.
Um, but I also had the thought that this could be a great alternative to other leagues adopting like this sort of format to make their all-star break better. Like the MLB, doing some sort of four nations like US, Japan, Venezuela, Dominican Republic. That'd be awesome. Even the NBA, like, US, Canada, France, Serbia, probably, if I had
Uh,
to guess.
maybe.
I think they would probably have to do something kind of like Team North America and Team
Yeah,
Europe
that's
because
fair. Yeah,
yeah, France probably has the most Europeans, but in terms of like all stars, they have probably two.
true.
So
But it could be a cool like alternative, whether,
for sure.
like just because all all-star games suck. They all suck now. And this is a fantastic alternative to this kind of format. But it does come with the price in players getting injured. Um, and Charlie McAvoy, I saw today they disclosed like his infection, like he has an infection in his shoulder AC joint, which is like not okay. Like that's very, very, very not okay. So I hope he's all right, as much as I, you know, don't much care for the Boston Bruins. I don't know why. They've never really done anything to me. They're just, the whole mass hole fan base, I guess. Just kick rocks.
But Charlie
But
McAvoy's American, so it
Damn
yes, he
matters
right.
is
right
American.
now.
Yeah, it matters right now. It's like TJOC will always be an American hero.
Hmm.
Always. Even
Yeah.
though he played for the Blues at the time.
Oh yeah,
Right.
he did. Yeah, yeah.
At the time of
That was
that
before the Caps.
shootout,
Yeah,
yes, he played for the Blues and he was a menace in our division. Um, but yeah, it rocks. But I'm really interested to see how, this all unfolds after. And I'm really excited for tomorrow because that's gonna slap.
yeah. That's gonna be awesome.
I'm hoping the U.S. Isn't too plagued by injuries, and because there's apparently also some bug going around, like some illness
Oh
thing.
God.
We're screwed.
Do you know? Do you know what's going on, Will?
There's some illness coming around. Like I don't know what it's about. It's that's all I know. There's an illness in like I know that Quinn Hughes was flown to Boston, but then now it came out that he did not because he hasn't been medically cleared to play.
Yeah,
So I don't know. They brought I know that they brought in Tage Thompson and Brett Pesci, a forward and a defenseman, because I mean we were playing Sweden on Monday, and we were playing with three lines. We weren't playing with a full lineup by the end
yeah,
of the game.
we were playing down.
Yeah, and I mean we started the game with I believe five defensemen and 12 forwards, and then it became five defensemen and nine forwards. And so I'm not too sure what's the lineup going to look like. I think a lot can happen in 24 hours from the time that we're recording this on Wednesday to Thursday when this comes out Thursday morning. And so hopefully you're listening or watching this Thursday morning for for the up and coming game today, I guess, hopefully. Um, so it's a lot of things can happen. And I mean, it was when we played Canada the first time, like Cale McCarr was out. He was sick. And so it was like, yo, I doubled down on US because like I went into the game, I was like, I'm not gonna bet this. And then the first period ended 1-1. And then I was like, I have to bet on the USA right now. And luckily for me, it was the same line going into the game as it was in the first period. Obviously, because it was, I mean, tied. Shots were pretty even, if I remember correctly. Um, but yeah, it's a great time. I hope this this changes everything. And I do have a take about this to get off my chest. Chris, would you like to say anything before I get this take off?
Yeah, I just wanted to going back to what Sean said about TJ Oshie is now an American hero. I used to hate the Kachuk brothers just because they're
Oh,
scumbags.
Oh yeah, no,
I
they're
will.
yes,
I
yes.
would lay down my life for each of them right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
yeah,
Like they are American heroes.
yeah.
Now, is this?
It feels great to root for them. It feels really awesome
Yeah.
that we get to do
If they
this.
played for the Preds or like if a guy like that is on your team in any sport, you love him. And I
Yeah.
get it now. I've always despised really both of them, but especially the curly headed fuck. Um, but
Yeah.
I love them. Like I would take a bullet for each of them in a heartbeat. They're American heroes in my book now. So
So I'm
didn't
sorry,
know if
Will,
y'all
but
felt the same.
You're good.
before we get into your what you got to get off your chest, um, was were those fights in response to Canada booing the anthem,
See,
or was it just like fuck you, we are US, you are Canada? Like this is like the major rivalry right now.
I
uh,
don't
I I think
I
it
don't
was
think that was it.
definitely the second one. Like it is like
Yeah.
we're brawling regardless.
Yeah.
They didn't they say they had like a group chat before, and it was like the Kachucks and I forget who else fought.
I think it was
They're
Miller.
Miller, yeah, they're both like, yeah, we're scrapping. Like I think they said we're scrapping early. I don't know if they intended it to be that early, but and that's one gripe I've had about this is it getting
Yeah. Okay.
politicized now is like, oh, boo our anthem, fucking see what happens next. It's like that had nothing. These guys don't like. They don't care about like maybe a couple of them were like, yeah, this isn't fun, but also like I doubt really they cared.
See, yeah, I've been seeing stuff on Twitter about it being, political, and I'm like, is it though? And I
No.
don't really think it is. I think it's just like let's just scrap to scrap because
Mhm.
we are rivals,
That game could have been played in like the COVID arenas with no fans, and they still probably would have scrapped right at the puck
probably.
drop. Like I don't, the fans had zero impact on that,
Okay,
in my opinion.
cool.
Hmm.
I feel the same way. I just wanted to see what
Yeah,
y'all thought or if y'all had any other like seen anything else that I hadn't seen or I don't know, but yeah.
I mean, I think it's just kind of funny how like there's just been so many compilations slash memes such like edits like in a video together where it's like, oh, you're gonna boo our anthem? We're gonna beat your ass physically.
Yeah.
And I mean, objectively, that is hilarious. Like just like
I
coming
mean, it
from this point of view, but realistically, I don't think that was the reason why.
okay, cool.
But yeah.
All right, well, uh get what you need to off your chest. We're dying to hear it. Spit.
All right. I think that the decision to do the Four Nations face-off is a top five thing ever to be done in the sport of hockey. I think because of all the reasons that we went over before, the fact that fucking nobody was watching the NBA All-Star game. It's the first week after the Super Bowl. fans are like, what the hell are we going to watch? I'm certainly not going to watch the NBA All-Star game. And then they come and they find this and they're like, "Oh my gosh, the Kachuk brothers play for US. I live in the US. I'm going to watch this." And it was just electric from the hop. I mean, I mean, piggyback from what you were saying earlier, Sean. I mean, like, you know, this might inspire other leagues to not do their All-Star game because it's like, yeah, the All-Star game is cool. Like, becoming an All-Star in your prospective sport is it's a nice accolade. It's a nice personal achievement. Um,
It's
but at
also a
this
Hall of Fame like achievement, as well.
right,
Like, this many time All-Star or Pro Bowler or whatever. But
right, and it's nice in that regard, but at the same time, it's like it hasn't been for like 15 years before any of these All-Star games have really like any of the players have played like it matters. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, and they can choose. I mean, even the NHL players can choose that this doesn't matter. But at the same time, it's like hockey players, they don't, they're not wired like that. When when you put on like a sweater for your like division, it's like that's okay. What what kind of pride can I get from that? But it's like you put on the maple leaf, you put on the USA crest, you put on the Finland Swami. I don't even know what to call that. The three crowns on the Sweden jersey. Like you put that shit on, and it's like, yo, I'm about to run through a fucking brick wall for these boys right now. And so I just think it's a top five thing that the NHL has ever done in the sport of hockey, just for like growing the game and getting more eyeballs on it. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what you want. You get more eyeballs, you get more money, players get paid more. These mega corporations make more money. Like it feels like a win-win for everyone. I guess except for the NBA, which I mean, I feel like they gotta be kind of mentally like, all right, nobody's gonna watch this. We are trying to. They have been trying to make it more watchable, but at the same time, it's like you're fighting against, these mega millionaires, of the athletes that are just playing this game and they're just showing up so they won't get fined. Like, and so it's, I don't know, but that's my take, and that's my long-winded kind of description of it. Do you guys have any opinions on my take?
no,
Okay.
I would agree. I also just had a thought right now that this is an alternative to um, Alexander Ovechkin not having to play the All-Star game, not having to be suspended, not having to be fined, and still rest. Because, he is famous for not wanting to play the All-Star game. And if Russia's not in it, then he doesn't have to do anything. So he's probably like, yeah, let me sit back, relax, go back to Mother Russia, have some beers with Vlad, and yeah, let's go back to Washington when when this all in 12 days, you know what I mean? Like, but uh I think it is disappointing that Russia isn't in it because they do have a lot of great hockey players. Um, but at the same time, I'm not gonna fight that they're not in it,
Right.
given the socioeconomical state of the world right now. Um, I totally get it. So, but I do think it is disappointing.
Yeah.
They could be the NHL affiliates of Russia, like they were in the Olympics, or is like the athletics or what the athletes
The
of
United
Russia.
Athletes of Russia or something like
Yes,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But Five Nations round robin, that probably wouldn't work as well.
I wonder, like, let's say this is just idea that came to me. If I'm Gary Bettman, you do four nations face off every 4 years or every however many, but let's say for this every 4 years. And let's hope in 4 years Russia is playing nice with everyone again. Whoever, which I guess you can't really do that this year. I was thinking, so you have tonight or tomorrow night, you have USA Canada for the championship. You have the other two teams play for third place. Whoever loses that gets bumped out next year, and the other team, in this case, Russia, comes in, fills their spot for the next tournament.
Yeah, they get relegated
It's like a relegation,
and
yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
So, and they just can't, you keep playing like that and keep it like every so many years. So it's not just like the same guys over and over again, like kind of, I don't want to say diluting it, but I feel like at a point it would be like, shit, man, I got to play this again. Like this is the fourth year in a row. I'm exhausted. So,
Right. I
It'd
was
be
um
interesting.
I was thinking like they do it because I'm pretty sure they do the World Cup of Hockey every 4 years, but it's like
mm,
the in
wh-
between each Winter Olympics.
mhm.
And
Which, okay,
So really it's every like 2 years
every
where
two,
you
yeah,
play for your country.
right,
yeah.
there's a best
Yeah.
on best every 2 years. But like what I was thinking is like if they do the four nations in between each of uh each of those two times. Uh and
So do
so
it every other year. I said,
yeah,
kind of.
I
Okay.
think
So
so.
in not in any particular order, you play for your country 3 times in 4 years with a year off in between whatever, you know,
Yeah. So,
tournament or
Mhm.
something is going on.
right, something like that.
And
Uh
it could be staggered. I see what you're
Is
saying.
is the
yeah.
World Cup of Hockey like coming back? I know they're doing it this year, next year, sometime
Uh
soon.
Yeah. I know they're doing it.
2026, I think.
Yeah.
So is it like, hey, we're coming back and like on a regular basis, or is it like, hey, we're back for this?
I don't
We
know.
may fuck off for 10 more years after this.
I don't know. I saw they announced it
Yeah.
before US Canada.
Hmm.
Um
I mean, I
but
know
it's
that go ahead.
no, I think it's just one of those things that is kind of when it happens, it happens. It's not like the World Cup.
Yeah.
Like it's not like soccer where it's going to happen it's not the Olympics where it's going to happen every 4 years. It's when the stars align for
Gotcha.
like things to happen.
Gotcha.
I think it's more like that.
I know
But
that
I
for a
could be
while.
wrong.
I know that for a while they did do the World Cup of Hockey every 4 years between each Winter Olympics. I know that they did that. Um, but I don't. I the last time they did the World Cup of Hockey was 2016, and then I think they did it 4 years before that and 4 years before that, and then they just stopped for some reason. I think there was like a lockout somewhere in there, or um, some just like they had to redo the CBA, or I'm not sure. Yeah, but I think the likelihood of the World Cup of Hockey being an established thing that they do has a better chance of that happening um than the four nations.
Yeah.
Um Also because like I think the way that they do the World Cup of Hockey is a little bit different than the four nations because I mean there's only four nations and there's a lot more players from different other countries. And so I think with I think they did say that on the next World Cup of Hockey, there's not going to be any like conjoined teams like Team Europe or Team United States, which
Or Europe,
yeah,
Team Europe.
Good.
Yeah.
yeah. And so I get no Team North America, but I feel like they got to do Team Europe just because like I mean you can't make a team of Norwegian players. There's only like one or two, you know?
Well, see, if you just do Team Europe, then it's like it's USA, Canada, and Europe. Like there'd only be three teams.
Well, it would be
I guess Russia. I don't know what they classify as, but
it would be Russia if they join,
yeah.
Finland,
But
Sweden, and then everyone else.
so Team Europe would just be like the cast offs of
Correct. Like
I
it would
was
be,
so it'd be like you said, like Norwegian, and I would know if there's any Norwegian players. Like Norwegian is like Czechs, like stuff like that.
yeah, it'd
They
be
would
like,
almost be like second team,
Yeah,
like
that's what I was gonna
they're
say because
second team players. Yeah.
I was like, if are we if we're still gonna do Finland and Sweden and others, I don't know if we'll do others or not, but if it's definitely them two, then it's like, okay, well then Team Europe is not gonna be very good.
Yeah,
well,
but
like,
but I think what Will's also saying is
I get
that
what he's saying.
there are players from,
Oh,
the Czech Republic and Norway
yeah.
that like they can't make it. You can't make a team from like professional players in the NHL. So
Well,
it like
so is the World Cup of hockey just NHL players?
I'm,
I thought it
I,
was like if
I'm
you
90% sure.
okay. I don't know much about it, obviously. I was under the impression it was like if you're good enough, like if you're some kid in Slovakia, it's like if you're good enough, you can play for this team, like
I
regardless of where
mean,
you're playing in the world.
yeah, they won't get very far
Oh
because I
no,
mean,
but it's still
if they were they'd be in the show.
oh yeah, you're
You
right.
know,
But I
like
didn't know like maybe there's some like some kid, like some 17-year-old in playing some league in Europe somewhere is like, hey, this kid's the truth, but he's not in the NHL yet. He can go over there, ball out, and then go to the NHL. Get eyes on him. I didn't know if that's
could be. I mean, that could also happen. I'm not sure how, this all works either. But yeah,
Well, so
yeah, we got to
just
look into that. But
just to backpedal a little bit, like Team Europe, you know, it wouldn't be second team because it's like that team would be like Roman Yossi, fuck it, like Leon Draisaitl,
well, yeah, okay, yeah, that's true.
like it's just like all the good ass players in Europe
better. Yeah,
that aren't Finnish or Swedish. And then there might be some players that don't make the Finnish or Swedish team that are on Team Europe, you know?
that would be interesting.
Right. And so it's kind of like Roman Yossi would be on it, like Leon Draisaitl would be on it. I'm trying to think of others. Like David Pastrnak would be on it. Like,
Anze Kopitar.
yeah, he would be on that team. Like, and like I remember when they did Team Europe in 2016, like Chara was on the team and he's Czech as well. And so it's like it's not the cast-offs. It's just the countries that have the good ass players that just don't have enough
Yeah,
just players, you know?
But there are
So,
there were a few cast-offs. Like they're not cast-offs, but they are second team. Like they
like
are
the
like the
fourth
next
liners on
man
that
up.
team
Yeah.
are not going to be very like they'll be good because they'll be good enough to play in it, but comparatively are not going to be very good.
yeah, I am incredibly actually interested now in Team Europe from 2016. I'm gonna look that up in a second. Uh, let's see. What else? Do we have any
One,
other
well,
hockey
I just want
takes?
to say one more thing about the Four Nations, and this has something to do with the tournament itself. It's just like the broadcast coverage of it. We got to get some damn Americans on this TNT panel.
I
I'm
agree.
sick
Yeah.
of Biz and Anson Carter just like jerking each other off, like, oh, we love Canada so much on an American broadcast. Like, I get have Biz there, he's awesome, but let's bring in like Mike Madonna, bring in a fucking American who's like can not just have this be like a Canadian suck fest for 3 hours.
Yeah, I
That's
mean, I think
that's fair.
on the Swedish the USA Sweden game, they had Eddie Olczyk, who's American,
Yeah,
and Brian Boucher, who is also American, who have played for Team America, and they talked about it a little bit. But yes, I do agree with that.
because that's what it's going to be on Thursday. Like they're, I assume maybe they'll have Olczek, but I assume it's going to be Biz and Anson Carter just because they're like the normal guys. And just be like, oh, wow, well, Canada's so great. We love Canada. And rightfully so. I'm not saying they shouldn't. I'm just saying when you're on an American broadcast, it sucks to just be like, yay, Canada for the entire game. That was just, I still loved it. Like, it was great entertainment, but that was just like the
I'm
one
sure they
thing.
have TNT in Canada too. But
Oh, yeah. And again, like, that's why I'm not saying like just Americans because then it just be the same thing. I would just like it more. But
I would like a
have like
50-50 split.
yeah, have one American in there, like one American player in there or
Yeah.
former player.
Who would you want?
Medano.
Yeah, okay.
He's who I
Makes
think of when I
sense.
think of like just like an older,
Yeah.
like an old school, like USA hockey guy.
Jeremy Roenick.
Or I mean
Michael Ruzioni, different era, but talk about an American hero.
talk about an American fucking hero, dude.
Hey, he ran some
Wow.
promos for Team USA
Yeah,
like over the weekend, and that was cool.
yeah. I'm gonna watch Miracle like 5 times tomorrow.
I might watch it tonight. This is getting me
Honestly,
my blood
yeah.
pumping. Hey, did I tell you guys that I don't even know if I've talked about or in the hockey league that I play in, the guy who played McClanahan
Hmm.
in Miracle plays in my hockey league, in rookie league.
You
Did I
told us
tell you
about
guys
that,
that?
but
Yeah,
that's
you
still
told us.
awesome.
Like, I was like, hold on. Like, someone told me that. I was like, hold on. Say that again? And he was like, the guy who plays McClanahan in Miracle plays in rookie league for this team. And I was like, no fucking way. And I looked it up, and he does.
I feel like he should be a level above. I mean, maybe I haven't seen him play, but I feel like just based on his credentials, he should be maybe a league up.
He is not on a good team. I'll
Oh,
say that.
okay. Okay.
He is their best player,
I was gonna say this
and
guy has been
yeah,
paid to at least simulate a hockey game before.
yeah, pretty wild stuff. But yeah,
All right, so I do have the Team Europe roster here,
mm.
which there are some 2016 names on here that I have not heard in quite a while. But I'll just give the highlights. Their goaltending was Thomas Greiss, Philip Grubauer, and Yaroslav Halak. And like I haven't heard Halak in a while. Grubauer's still in the league. The decor was like Chara, Yossi, Spiza, Andre Sekera, Mark Straight, and some others, some other low level guys. Uh, and then is Pierre Edouard Belmar still in the league? I don't know. He's French. I think he's the only French dude on here, but like actual French dude. Mikhail Bodkert, I don't think he's in the league anymore. Leon Draisaitl, I think he was 19 at the time.
Jeez.
Yeah, in
What?
2016. Yeah,
Jesus
19
Christ.
or like 20. Um, Marion Gabrick, old guy. Yannick Hansen, Marion Hossa was on that team.
Oh,
I guess
so wow.
I guess that's one of the last things he did.
Yeah,
Rest in
really.
peace.
Anze Kopitar, Nino Niederreiter, Preds legend.
Damn straight.
Franz Nielsen, Tomas Tatar, Thomas Vanek, and Matt Zuccarello, the only Norwegian.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But yes, 2016 names, and that there were a number of cast-offs, I would say, that were on that team. Actually, I don't even know if there's any Finnish or Swedish. No, there's no Finnish or Swedish players on that team. So there weren't any
That's
cast-offs
interesting.
from those
Okay.
teams,
Well,
but
maybe
yeah,
we were wrong then. And
yeah,
I think Europe could, I mean, obviously they can build a good team around, the guys they have in the league now.
yeah.
Definitely.
Um, shit.
Even like most of those guys, I mean, Chara isn't playing anymore. Host
Right.
is obviously not playing anymore, but I think that the talent that they have in the NHL right now, they could still build a decent team.
Oh yeah. And
And
that team made it to the final against Canada.
yeah, yeah.
So
But I would agree that the like you'd have to get rid of like North America. You would
yeah,
because
that's fine.
Hmm.
yeah, you kind of would because that's kind of cheating. Like
As awesome, and I know why they did it because that team is amazing and that sells tickets. But yeah, that's not fair.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
wasn't Connor McDavid on North America and not
Yes.
like Canada?
Yes. So was
Yeah.
Nathan McKinnon, Austin
Yeah.
Matthews, Seth Jones,
Yes.
uh,
I know Seth Jones was on there, but
dude, a bunch of great ass. Jack Eichel was on that team. Like,
fuck that dude.
I'll never
not
like him.
not not this week.
He's gonna
I'll
have to
really
score
never
four
like him.
goals on Thursday for me to be like, okay, he's not bad.
You get the game winner in double overtime, I'll be like, all right.
I'm like, okay, he's fine.
I'll
I
be
don't
like, all
hate
right,
him.
cool.
All right.
But
No,
Uh,
if he scores, the game winner double overtime. I don't know how did these overtimes work in the Four Nations? Is it
I assume the
three on
championship.
three?
the
Is
Well, it
it
has
championship
been three on
is
three, but I assume the championship they would do 5-on-5.
the
okay?
championship
I
is
hope
playoff
so.
5-on-5.
Okay, cool.
Just go until
Winner,
someone
sudden
wins
death.
or someone dies.
Hmm.
Cool. All right, as
Yeah.
as it should be.
Damn straight.
Um, but yeah, the
But yeah.
yeah is the 3-on-3, all-star thing. That's dumb.
Like
Yeah.
the tournament thing they did.
Sick. Well, like in like division wise, they do like they don't even play like full lines. They do 3-on-3, and
Yeah.
so like the score is like 9-6,
Hmm.
like in like almost every game. And like, yeah, it's fun, but it's fun to score goals. But at a point, you kind of want to see a little more competition.
Hmm.
So,
I thought
and
it
that's
was,
that's what the Four Nations brings in.
yeah.
But yeah,
I thought the 3-on-3 thing, I thought that was an interesting idea. I thought the first year they did it was cool. But yeah, after a while, I was like, oh, okay, this is it's kind of the same old thing, just in a different style. Like, yeah, we're still seeing a lot of offense, just not as much. Because I remember the year before that, when it was like the last East versus West game, wasn't the score like 16-14 or something ridiculous like that?
yeah, it's something stupid that it's like that's not a hockey score.
Yeah, I think that's when they're like, okay, we gotta do something.
Like 3-1, empty net goal. That's a hockey score. And that's what
Yeah,
US Canada was. That was awesome. So
yeah, that was a hockey game.
that was a hockey fucking game.
Um,
But we can move on from
Yeah,
we've been chatting about this though.
yeah.
I'm not complaining,
awesome.
but
I really don't have anything else, truth be told. So Chris, I've been very much slacking on doing research on college hockey. Uh,
all right. Well,
but
next week you have to have your pick though. Remember,
yeah,
like if the US wins tomorrow, you have to have
Hmm.
when
your
the US wins.
rollover. When the US wins tomorrow, you have to have your rollover funds pick.
Yeah,
If you don't have a pick, I'm putting it on Maine.
really.
Yeah, just 'cause fuck it. That'd be
All right.
cool. If I don't have an
So,
informed opinion, if I don't have someone telling me their informed opinion on this, I'm just gonna go with Maine.
all right. So you are what stands between a financially bad decision and a sound financial decision.
Uh,
Now I feel like I gotta put a little bit on Maine just because of that.
an okay financial decision. Well, actually, gambling is a terrible financial decision if you want to get into it, but you know,
This
could
is a
be
gambling
or could not
show. You
be.
can't.
It's a coin flip. Depends on it on how it goes. Could be great. Could be the best moment of your life.
Yep.
Just depends. But I'll do a little research. Um, but yeah, that's all I got, fellas. So if there's anything any topics you got, then we can go. How's college basketball going?
It's awesome. We're ramping up to March. Saturday we had number one versus number two game with Auburn and Alabama. That was pretty sick. Auburn won. Cashed Auburn money line, by the way. Not a big deal. But Auburn won. Forget what the score was, 94-88, something like that. 94-90. High scoring game. Alabama plays again tonight, play Missouri. That's tipping off actually any moment now. So that'll be fun. But yeah, college basketball is it's the best. This time of year is awesome. But this time next month is heaven for just college basketball fans and just degenerate gamblers. Because
Hmm.
they're any time of the day, you got a good chance that college basketball is being dribbled somewhere.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, I am 1-1 right now in college basketball. I got one more going. Uh, the Gardner Webb Longwood overcashed.
Hell yeah.
Uh,
Oh,
but but the Vanderbilt Kentucky over did not cash.
Vandy couldn't hit a shot
Vanderbilt, yeah, Vanderbilt,
down the stretch.
yeah, they lost by 21. So
That was it
that
was a
sucked.
1 point game at halftime.
Yeah, that sucks. Uh,
I'm two
that
and
was
two
actually
right now.
looking pretty good, but that was a really high total. That total was 162 and a half.
Kentucky
Um,
doesn't play defense.
yeah. But I will say that I am strictly just using Trend Center. And like I said earlier in the show, I am now 5-2. So five
Not
and
bad.
two on the week. Not bad at all.
I had a trend center bet hit for me tonight. Penn State +2. They won outright by like 20. It was
There you
easy.
go. God
Just go on
damn.
the trend center. Yeah.
Yeah, just fucking
There
type
were
in
a
those
lot
TF.
of good ones on there
Just
today.
just type in that promo code TFTM, get 15% off your subscription, make it back,
Easy.
and then just keep betting
And just keep
and
going.
keep paying. It's basically free
Responsibly,
if
of
you
course. Responsibly.
obviously, but it's basically free if you just keep betting and winning
Yeah.
and just roll
Yeah,
it over into your subscription every month. It's basically free. That's the way I look at it.
that's the way I
Oh,
look at it.
so Sean, I believe this was the first game you bet on of the season. Was it Howard taking on known powerhouse University of Maryland Eastern Shore? Was that the first college basketball game you bet on this season?
Uh, no, but kinda. Like no, but also yes. Like it was one that like I was like, okay, I'm actually going to like look into this and not just like blindly throw something that
Uh,
someone in the group chat like said is a lock. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Um, but yeah,
I,
it was the Howard Eastern. I don't even,
Maryland Eastern Shore
yeah, that's a school that only the parents of those students know the name of. Um,
and me.
and Chris. But yeah, I had the over. I took that over and that cashed really easily. Another trend center pick as well.
That made me so happy. Sean just came out of the blue in the group chat. He was like, "Hey, Chris, what do you think about the Howard over?" I was like, "This is the best. I love that I was like,
I always like to surprise Chris with like college basketball like
I
thoughts.
just love you.
I'll be in the emergency room and I'll be like, "Hey, what do you think about Colorado minus 3.5?" Like,
That was the best, that tournament. When, yeah, you texted me, what do you think about Colorado? I don't remember who they were playing. And I was like, yeah, I like him. I'll take him. And then 20 minutes later, either Will told me or I saw on like Instagram or something that Sean was in the hospital.
yeah,
I was like, motherfucker.
I broke my toes. Yeah.
That was an all-time
Hey man,
March
are you
Madness.
okay? I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm fine. I just have nothing to do.
I'm
Like,
fine. I just need a winner. So do you like Colorado or not?
gotta pay these medical
Yeah,
bills,
right.
dude.
Got them. Whether I get anesthesia or not depends on if Colorado covers.
No, I was literally in there for broken toes, and there was like, there's nothing we can do. It's because they're toes.
Nobody cares about them.
You don't
I
need
mean,
them.
there's
You don't need
literally nothing you can do for broken toes. It's like whatever. But I was like, okay, how can I make this back?
Not gonna make this
Yeah.
expensive bus ride.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was a fucking $800 expensive ass taxi ride for a mile and a half to the hospital because I don't want to go into it. I'm sure we've actually told this story
Oh,
before, but
probably.
mhm. Yeah.
But yeah, I just
Um,
love Sean. I was like, is this the first game? He's like, I'm gonna dip my toe into college basketball. Oh, Howard, Eastern Shore. Let's give that a whirl.
yeah, that's a really degenerate
Oh, I
like
love it.
first one to be like, hey, what do you think about this? Like,
It was a day. It was a standalone game.
yeah, it was.
2 o'clock on
Wasn't
like
it
a
at like two
Thursday or
o'clock?
something.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was like it because I remember like rolling those winnings
yeah.
over into another one, and I was like, let's keep this going. Like, and then I bet it on the. Oh, it was the day that uh Virginia was playing Duke, and I was
The
like, oh,
last.
I'm gonna bet this under,
It was last
and
Thursday.
like that under wasn't even close. Like, and I was like, ah, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I bet the Virginia team total under in that one under 58 and a half, and they finished with 61. So that was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, the total was 132 and like I think it ended like 156 or something. I was like,
Yeah, well,
Jesus Christ.
Duke scored like 85 or something like that.
Yeah, it was stupid.
Virginia plays basketball like it's 1956. It is the most just mind-numbing style of basketball you can watch. Like if you go back through their scores, there's sometimes they will like score in the 40s. It's
And they win.
Jesus.
absurd. Sometimes, I mean, they're pretty trash, but yeah, sometimes they win. But I mean, they just don't score. It's awful to watch. I remember they made the tournament last year, or they made like the play-in game or whatever, and people were like, "This is stupid. This team sucks." Like it's just they just got in because like they're Virginia. Virginia is a good basketball program, but like they got in on name value, and then they got boat raced by Boise State, Utah. No, some like Mountain West team, and it was like, wow, this team actually was terrible. So, but yeah, that's Virginia basketball. That's talking UVA hoops this week.
All right.
Hey, Chris, do you want to come to the Borough on Saturday? We can go to the MT game.
What time is it?
Same 2 p.m.
2 p.m. Maybe.
They're facing Sam Houston.
Ooh,
So
maybe. I definitely want to do that, but I might
group
have something going on
group
Saturday.
trip to Murphy Center. That'd be fun.
I haven't been to an MT basketball game in a while.
I went last year for WKU
Hmm.
and they won by like three in like the last like few minutes and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
uh I
I
think
mean, if
it's
Is it
I'm
their
alumni
last
night?
I don't think that's alumni night
Uh,
because they probably have more games.
they probably won't have very many. I doubt that'd be their last game, but well, it could be. Hmm.
No, it's not their last game, but
I meant last like home game.
it's their third to last home game.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, they got to play more. Okay, yeah. If I can't go to that one, we should definitely go to another one.
Yeah, I was like, we should go to a college basketball game.
Yeah.
And but that'd be
just
fun.
to get in the zone.
Um, since I'm off Saturdays, so I mean we're all off Saturdays, you know, like we're adults.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're betting 20 games on a Saturday, it don't feel like you're off.
True.
It's not fun.
Uh,
It's not relaxing at all.
no, but it's fun.
It's awesome. I would
Would you
never, I
have to
wouldn't,
do it?
I don't have to, but like you look
But
at
your
the
brain
board,
tells you you have
you
to.
look at the board and there's literally like 115 games going on. You're like, well, shit. When you look at it like that, having 20 isn't that bad. That's, it's true.
Well, the last time
Have to
MT and
bet
Sam
this.
Houston played, MT won by two in like the final minutes, which looks like an awesome like kind of matchup.
I mean, yeah. I definitely want to check it out.
Yeah, we should. We'll talk about it. We'll talk
Yeah,
about it.
definitely.
Yeah, we should try and make this happen because tickets are like $8 or something, like something stupid.
Yeah, nobody goes.
Nobody goes to those, and they serve beer at those now.
Yeah, dude. I miss back when MT was good at basketball, and
I know.
that place was hype.
Yeah, that place was rocking.
Yeah,
Miss you, Kermit.
yeah.
What's he do?
Kermit's
Is
not.
he still at Ole Miss?
No, he
No.
got fired. I don't. He might be
Not surprised.
retired now, honestly, or maybe just like not doing anything. Look it up.
He should be MT's athletic director.
I mean, honestly, it does. Okay, yeah, it doesn't have anything about his coaching status as of now. It says, yeah, 2018 to 2023, Ole Miss. It's his last
Okay.
coaching, but
Damn.
yeah,
Okay.
man, those teams with Kermit were the truth.
Yeah.
Fucking Giddy Potts, I got rocked.
I don't know, remember that
Reggie
guy.
Upshaw is on the staff
Yeah,
now.
I saw him
You see that?
last
I
year. I
saw him
think
last year. Yeah.
yeah, I was watching on TV and I was like, hey, that's
Yeah.
Reggie Upshaw. I was like, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yep.
I saw that he got drafted by the Warriors,
Yeah,
like whenever it was his time to be drafted in like
he
the
played
third
in the
round or
G
something.
League for a little bit. I don't know if he ever actually played in the NBA, but
Yeah, probably made some decent dough.
probably.
I don't know.
Shout out Reggie Upshaw, fan of the show.
Shout out MT legend.
Honestly, I mean, like,
Never forget
yeah,
that Michigan
he
State game.
no, no, dog,
Dog. Never
dog.
trailed.
Never, they never
Whoop
got the
that
lead, dude.
ass.
Uh, yeah, that I, God, I feel bad that we're talking just about our local college basketball, but like that Michigan State game was uh different. Different, dude.
Yeah, that was electric. I think at the time it was only like the fourth time of 15 had beaten a two,
Yeah, it was
maybe
something
six or something like
nuts.
that. It was not a lot.
And like the whole MT basketball game was up for like biggest upset of the year at like the
Mhm.
ESPYs or
Yeah.
something. They didn't win, but like
No.
it was like what the fuck is going on, dude?
That was
Yeah.
pretty sick.
All right, fellas. I mean, do we have anything else we talk about? I mean, it's the off season, so there's aside from very select few college basketball games and I mean the Four Nations. I mean, we spent half the show talking about Four Nations, so I don't know. Is there anything
Yeah.
else going on? Really?
I mean, we're honestly like this is honestly like the deadest period of the year because the NBA is in their All-Star break, the NHL is in their All-Star break. Um, Baseball is kind of warming up.
Spring
Like it's
training, but yeah.
spring training's like around the corner. Um,
I'll say it's the second
yeah,
deadest time
it's
because then over the summer you do get that where it's the only leagues going on are MLB and WNBA, and it's like the MLB All-Star break. You'll have like a few days where there's nothing,
yeah,
and
Mm.
that's ugh.
but yeah, it's a pretty dead period right now,
Oh, that's what I
to
would
be
say. I think
honest.
it's
Yeah.
the second deadest.
Yeah.
Like it's not like we still have like there were 20 college basketball games on tonight. I would
Yeah, we
kill for
still
that and whatever that weekend
oh
in
yeah,
July is.
we definitely have flesh on the bone, but you know,
There's
it's
money
not
coming.
completely dead, but yeah. It, professional wise, like, you know, it's kind of like
Oh, for
there's
sure.
no drama going on, you know? Like there's nothing to really there's no
Patrick Mahomes got a haircut.
oh,
Ah,
That actually made rounds on
oh,
Twitter.
in his revenge era. Okay, shut the
his
fuck
winter
up.
arc, as the kids say. I think I did actually hear something about during the Philadelphia Eagles parade. They had there was a bunch of Eagles fans with like Kermit the Frog like hanging by the neck on like a stick or something.
Oh yeah,
And I was like,
there were a
that's
couple of
hilarious.
Kermits that burned in the
Yeah.
streets.
Yeah. I saw that one you were talking about. Well, I think he was hanging from like an Eagles flag or something like that off of like a balcony or something. But yeah.
Was he like crucified?
No, he was
Like was he
hanged.
like
He was hanged
Oh, he
by
oh
was
he
the
was
hung.
neck.
hanged. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, like lynched? Jesus Christ.
Wasn't gonna say that,
It's a
but
frog, so maybe not
That's
quite. But
isn't that the term to
I
use?
mean,
Like
yeah,
I'm not sure.
I guess
But
it's just
I don't think that's a
not a
derogatory
fun word you like
term. No, it's
throwing
not a
out
fun.
there.
No, it's not fun, but isn't that correct?
who's to say?
Technically, I guess.
Uh, but yeah, I saw that happen, and it's just like there's just like a lot of backlash, and there's just like, hey, act like you've been here before. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Like,
No, I
well,
wouldn't.
first of all,
No.
I haven't.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, dude, if I win two Super Bowls in my lifetime, one being like, like what, 8 years since the last one, like I'm I'm like I'm rocking out with my cock out, dude. Like I'm partying. I'm going hard. I'm going crazy. I'm saying a lot of things. I'm doing a lot of things that probably shouldn't be done. But you know what? It doesn't matter. My team is better than yours. And that's
Especially,
football.
yeah, the Eagles. I mean,
Damn straight.
their two Super
Amen.
Bowl wins are over the two GOATs, like Brady and Mahomes.
Yeah.
One was just an ass whooping, and the other one was one of the most entertaining Super Bowls ever.
Hmm.
So yeah, they've I mean, they're always obnoxious, but they've kind of earned it with these last couple bowls.
Definitely.
Honestly, if they weren't obnoxious, I'd be a little disappointed.
I'd be pissed.
I feel like we're at that point in society now where if something good happens to Philadelphia and there's not like something like a riot, it's I don't know, it's kind of disappointing. And then,
Mhm.
something bad happens and there's not a riot, then it's like, huh, has Philly lost the edge? And
I would
then,
be
yeah,
concerned, honestly. Like if Philly,
yeah,
I'd be like, are they okay? Like, should we like call like a senator up there, be like, hey, just is everything cool up there?
just checking in.
I was like, yeah, like this isn't like y'all. Like we need to do a wellness check on the city of Philadelphia if they ever don't almost burn the city down after a win or a loss.
Yeah. Like, yeah, it's so funny that society is at that point now. At least we are, um, to that point. Uh, but yeah.
Well, we don't have much, you know, to celebrate. So
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, us.
take everything as far as you want whenever you get the chance. Like if you got a chance to celebrate it, go ahead. Fully endorsed.
You never know when your last Super Bowl win's going to come.
Exactly. I mean, the world could end tomorrow. Just
You could
Sure.
saying.
die tomorrow.
You could die tomorrow.
There was a guy that died at the Philadelphia parade.
Yep. And
Sure, he would like nothing. That was probably the perfect way to go out.
I'm
Yeah.
sure his family feels the same way.
Obviously. Well, half joking. If a statement came out from the family that was like, this is how he would have wanted it, I'd be like, yeah, that checks out.
Well, he dies for the cause, you know.
I'm
Well,
like,
it's fine.
if something like that was read at his funeral, I would be like, yeah, that it makes sense.
Yeah. I mean,
He just loved the Eagles so fucking much.
go Birds.
Go Birds.
Everyone else, go birds.
Jalen, if you can hear me, if you can hear me, Jalen, he would love to have you at at the
Save me, Jalen
visitation.
Hurts. Save me,
Save me,
Jalen
Jalen
Hurts.
Hurts. Please, please save me, Jalen Hurts.
Oh man, now I feel a little bit bad, but yeah, we're just dealt the
I feel like that's
cards.
not too far away
Joking around.
No.
from the truth. I don't know. Do you do you want to wrap up? Do we want to wrap up here? We had nothing else?
Yeah, I don't really got
Yeah, I
nothing
mean,
else really.
we
Okay.
just been kind of chit-chatting it up, but
All right. I just remembered one quick other take about hockey. The way that they do
okay.
the points system in this Four Nations should be the way that they do it in the NHL.
I agree.
Like 3 points for a regulation win, 2 points for an overtime win, 1 point for an overtime loss, and then 0 points for a regulation
Loss.
loss.
Yeah,
That's it's like it's a perfect ranking of like, well, a regulation loss is definitely worth like a better win than an overtime win. Like, just think about it logically. I don't know. That should
I agree.
be a yeah, that should be a thing that happens. That's little quick takes by Will there. But okay, I'm gonna wrap it up.
What well what's the advantage to doing that than like the system we have now? Because it's
So
like kind of the same, except, you know, an overtime win just gets you one less point.
I think you should be rewarded more for like finishing it in regulation.
yeah,
Like, yeah, at the end
Oh,
of the day,
okay,
it
yeah.
doesn't
Well, yeah, you
really
should, but I mean,
like. I think like at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that much. Like, it's just like another point. Which I mean, just in terms of like comparing it to what it is now to that, like I don't think we would see anything drastically different. But I just think you should be rewarded more for finishing a game in 60 as opposed to going to overtime.
isn't that how they do soccer? Like, isn't
I
that
have
how
no clue.
soccer points are like awarded? Because like the soccer points are like, I think regulation. I think that is how soccer does it.
I
So
think I could not tell you it, but I think you're like that sounds correct. I feel like I've heard that before,
yeah,
but I I have no clue.
I think it is, but
I have no clue.
I don't know.
I just feel like if you come back and you win in overtime after like being down, it's like, yo, you should have 2 points there. But it's like if you kick someone's ass, it's like that's definitely worth more as like a complete team kind of goal type thing than if you like barely squeak out an overtime win. I don't know.
I agree.
That's me and Chris are kind of on the same brain wavelength right now.
I guess, but like also, what if it's like a 5-1 overtime comeback victory? Like, what if you win 6-5 in overtime?
Then you get 2 points as opposed to the
Well,
zero
yeah,
or
but like
the zero that you
you
could.
kicked their ass. Like you came back and kicked their ass.
But you also got your ass kicked for a
You
majority of,
got
I
your
don't say
ass kicked
majority, but
for
a
a little
portion of that
bit,
game.
but then you came back and still kicked their ass.
Yeah, and you get
Yeah.
2 points, which is better than the zero that you would have had if you got your ass kicked.
Yeah. 3 points to me exemplifies you played a more complete game. You came in with a game plan that you executed and you just took control of the game. Like it was never kind of in doubt. Even if you only win by 1 point, one goal. And so that's that's kind of the way I see it. I don't think an overtime win should be equal to the same as a regulation win. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah, like if
I
you,
yeah, I get it. I get it, but it's just it's the way that I've come to know the NHL. This is the way that the NHL has always been. So it's kind of it's not hard for me to wrap my mind around, but there is a reason why they have their point system the way they do.
Sure.
I mean, yeah, there is. I don't think they're just doing it for the hell of it, but I just think like, well, you should be rewarded more for a 5-1 ass kicking as opposed to, oh, we won by one.
I mean I mean a regulation win could be 1-0.
That is also true, but I mean, Well, then you're kind of splitting hairs, I guess, with like the.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I mean,
I think winning in regulation should be. I just think winning in 60 should be rewarded more than winning in overtime, than having to go to overtime.
Just like how when I bet a 60-minute line
Yes,
in the NHL, I get better odds
okay.
because
that was a
Now you're putting it
now,
into
yeah,
perspective.
now
there
you're
we go.
speaking our
There we
language,
go.
Will.
We got it. We got it. All right. Three minds coming together. All right. I'm
I
gonna
was
wrap
just
it up.
sitting there like, holy shit, I get it.
No, I understood. I
Nah,
understood the whole thing. It. I don't. It's hard for me to explain it because we are trying to wrap up and we have limited time. But maybe we can dive deeper into this next time.
Sure. Um,
Maybe. I don't know.
cliffhanger.
Probably not. Probably not. Don't expect much. But
Stay tuned next week for talking the NHL point system with three for the money.
stay tuned for nothing.
all right. Uh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah. I'm wrapping
Yeah,
up. All
that's
right.
good.
Sorry. I had a brain fart there. Okay. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Check out all the links below. Follow us on everything. Follow the Twitter for the daily gambling picks. Chris has always bet in college basketball. Sean's dipping his toes in it a little bit more each day. Stay tuned on Twitter for um, when I get my pick. But I mean, we could make that a podcast exclusive. Just saying. Um, it is the number one kind of achievement we've had on this show. Not to pump my own tires here, but I'm on a what is it? This would be year three, two or
This
three.
this will be year 3
Yeah.
of your pick.
Yes, of my Frozen Four pick. Could make that a pod exclusive. I don't know. You'd have to find out. You have to follow the Twitter to figure that one out.
Who was the
Um,
first year? The
that'd be
Michigan.
Quinnipiac.
Quinnipiac.
Oh, I thought Quinnipiac was last year.
No,
No,
that was
last
Denver.
year was Denver.
Denver, that was it. Okay.
Woo, let's go Denver.
I remember these because I took them both.
I did too. I just couldn't remember which the order.
um, check out the Trend Center app, link in the bio. Use the code TFTM for 15% off a premium membership. Like we said in the show, pays for itself when you use it. It's the greatest tool on the planet for sports bettors. Check that shit out. It's going to be awesome getting used to betting on college basketball as we gear up for March Madness. Very, very important tool to have. Okay, I think that's it. I think that's all we got. Uh, yeah, follow the Twitter in case we have any more single game picks for USA Canada, and hopefully USA is able to put together
I
a
mean, USA money line.
well,
Yeah.
I didn't know if you want to bet the over or under or not.
Ah,
All
I
right,
mean, maybe, but definitely USA money line.
right. It's always USA money line. Anyway,
Every day is USA money line.
anyway, yeah, check that shit out. Trend Center, follow us and everything. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Really appreciate it. We'll see you next time. There's three of us. Now let's make some money.
Woo! All right. Woo!